Hey folks, I'm continuing my video here on how to service and safely clean out your space heater to keep it from being a fire hazard. Very important if you've had a ceramic space heater like this one, electric space heater, for more than, a few years. I'd say even a couple years. They really collect a lot of dust on the heating element that can be quite dangerous. So servicing this one now, this is a Honeywell, and it's a digital one, which is pretty nice. It's got these little touch buttons, and it actually looks really clean on the outside. Like, everything looks fine. You wouldn't think that it needs any servicing at all, but I know I've used this for a few years, and I'm sure it does. So the first thing I had to do, of course, was open the screws, and these ended up being needing some Allen wrenches, some tiny Allen wrenches. This one ended up being a 332. Allen wrench, at least assuming I didn't mix my setup there. Got the back cover off, and this seems to be assembled in much of the same way as my other one, my other space heater. So there's basically clips or zip ties along the side of the plastic fan housing, which holds the wire around everything. And then the fan housing has its own clips, as you can see here, which attaches it to another plastic housing, which goes over the ceramic heating element. So all I really needed here was just a good, decent, small flathead, and I pried up the clips on either side, and these popped right out. And then for these clips, you could actually just cut these and add zip ties, or I ended up using some needle nose pliers. Big fan of these ones. These are crescent needle nose pliers, really nice and small for this kind of stuff, and I squeezed and pushed in to get this one out, which was the only one that had wires attached. So as you can see here, this heating element is nowhere near as bad as the other one, but it's still pretty bad. That is all dust. It's not a full carpet, but it's starting to form a carpet down here, and that's all getting hundreds of degrees. Getting really, really hot. And so not only is it posing a fire hazard by resting on the heating element, but it's also blocking airflow to the heating element. Not good. So very important that you service these things. The way to do it, by the way, is if you have compressed air or a small vacuum. I would start with a small vacuum hose attachment, and then use an air compressor, either canned compressed air or an actual air compressor like this guy over here. You can get these for a couple $100, and boy, are they awesome. A recommended purchase. But I'll just do a little quick rundown just for those interested in how these things work. I've never opened this before, so I'm just going to look over this and make heads and tails of it. Or Sonic and Tails of it. And obviously down here you've got your power supply. It looks like it's you've got a relay here, which is probably what's being controlled through the digital signal when you press a button on and off. It's a big chunky relay. And you've got an AC/DC transformer here. Or, I'm sorry, an AC voltage step-down transformer, more likely than not, which is going to get rectified by a bridge rectifier, most likely, and go off to our low-level DC logic up here. Everything looks pretty nicely made. Cable management's really nice. It looks a lot safer and cleaner than my other one. And looks like you have the same as my other one. This is your main temperature sensing override fuse, resettable fuse. It's basically a ceramic fuse that basically disconnects two pieces of metal if it's measuring too hot. It seems to be what that is anyway. And then over here on the side, we've got a one-time, looks like probably a one-time blow thermal fuse, which is pretty nice. I think that's, if things get really dangerous, that'll cut power. The other one doesn't have that, so that's kind of cool. And then there's this guy, which appears to be, I mean, on first inspection, it looks just like a diode. But I'd be surprised if it was. I'm not actually sure what that is. it says RT1 on the printed board. Feel free to leave in the comments if you know what that is. That one's actually kind of a mystery. I'm imagining it's doing something to measure the airflow intake, which is the only reason it would be on the other side of that fan. But yeah, this one looks like a little bit safer than my other one, so that's kind of nice. And yeah, the dust hasn't really gotten up into the digital circuitry, so that's cool too. As far as the digital circuitry, this will be, you know, obviously your main logic chip, and there's probably a LED display controller either integrated into this, or that's what this guy is. So yeah, get this guy all cleaned up and put back together, and I will have a safer, heated environment. Segasonicfan, signing out.